Okay, number 51. I'm going to subtract 1. And so cosine of 2 theta is going to equal -1. Subtract 1 on both sides. -1 equals cosine 2 theta. I just rewrote it. So cosine 2 theta equals -1. This is a multiple angle problem. What that means is that there are multiple answers instead of the normal one answer on the unit circle that cosine is equal to -1. I know that it's a multiple angle problem because there's a number in front of theta. So cosine 2 theta. The 2 theta means that this is going to be a horizontal shrink by a factor of 2. So instead of the period being 2 pi, the period is going to be pi. From 0 to pi is going to be the cosine graph. So the entire cosine curve is going to repeat from 0 to pi and then, or go from 0 to pi and then repeat from pi to 2 pi. So graphically, if again my cosine curve normally goes to 2 pi, then this one is going to do that twice as fast. So 2 full cycles between 0 and 2 pi. So where is cosine 2 theta equal to -1? Well, here and here. So that happened at pi over 2, and that should happen at 3 pi over 2 as well. So graphically, from 0 to 2 pi, it's happening twice instead of once. It would have just been at pi. But the 2 theta means that there's a horizontal shrink by a factor of 2. So there's 2 complete cycles from 0 to 2 pi. Or 2 pi divided by 2, the period length is pi. The way that we can solve that is we use a general solution. Anytime we're working with a horizontal stretch or a shrink, we solve the equation using the general solution. So that means if I take the inverse cosine of both sides, then the inverse cosine of the cosine of 2 theta is 2 theta, and the inverse cosine of -1 is pi plus 2 pi n. So pi plus any other coterminal angles as you go around the circle. You don't just start with pi because then you won't get all the answers. You have to do the plus 2 pi n. Then I divide everything by 2. And so theta is going to equal pi over 2 plus 2 pi n divided by 2, or pi n. So that's my general solution. That'll give me every solution from -infinity to infinity. And if I want it from 0 to 2 pi, then I just need to add pi n. I need to let n equal 1. And theta will equal pi over 2 plus pi times 1. So pi over 2 plus pi is equal to 3 pi over 2. If I let n equal 0, if n equals 0, then theta equals pi over 2. So graphically, you should have an understanding of why there are 2 solutions and possibly how to get it. And then you also want to be able to work through it algebraically.